The sky was dark and silent. A small human spaceship, the Aurora, was moving fast through deep space. It was not a big ship, but it was strong and built for long trips. Inside, Captain Maya Khan sat calmly in her pilot's seat. She was looking at the stars ahead, thinking about their mission. Humans had never traveled so far before. This was the first journey outside the known borders of the Milky Way. The mission was simple but dangerous. The humans wanted to explore new worlds and find new friends. They hoped to meet other space travelers, but now something was wrong. The ship was shaking, alarms were ringing. Suddenly the lights flickered, and the Aurora began to lose control. "Engine failure," shouted the chief engineer, Tom. He was trying to fix the problem, but it was no use. The ship was falling fast toward an unknown planet. Captain Maya's voice was calm but firm. "Brace for impact. Everyone, hold on." The ship crashed with a huge explosion. Dust and rocks flew everywhere. Inside, the crew felt the heavy shake and heard metal breaking. When the noise stopped, silence returned. But the danger was not over. Outside, the planet looked strange. The sky was filled with two suns, one red and one blue. The land was dark with tall mountains and glowing rivers. This was not a friendly place. The Aurora was deep inside a powerful galactic empire, a place humans had never seen before. Suddenly, from the sky, huge ships appeared. They were the Empire's patrol ships, big, shiny, and armed with strong weapons. They flew low and fast toward the crashed Aurora. Inside the Aurora, the crew was trying to gather their things. Captain Maya stood up and looked around. Everyone was okay, but their ship was badly damaged. "We have to get out of here," Maya said. "We don't know if the Empire will be friendly." Tom looked worried. "They will find us soon. We have no weapons to fight." Before they could decide, the huge patrol ships landed nearby. Doors opened and soldiers in shining armor stepped out. Their eyes were cold and sharp. The leader of the soldiers, a tall man with a silver badge, spoke in a deep voice. "Humans, you are on our territory. Explain yourselves." Maya stepped forward. "We come in peace. Our ship crashed. We are explorers, not enemies." The soldiers looked at each other, not trusting her words. The leader's eyes narrowed. "Your presence here is forbidden. You will be taken to our commander." The humans had no choice. They were surrounded and captured. They were taken to a huge spaceship, the Empire's command center. The command center was huge and cold. Walls of metal and glass surrounded them. The humans were placed in a holding room. They waited, nervous and unsure of their fate. After a while, a group of Empire leaders entered. They wore long robes and had strange marks on their faces. The leader, a woman with sharp eyes, spoke first. "Humans, you have broken the law by entering our space. Why should we not destroy you?" Maya took a deep breath. "Please listen, we come from a distant place. We did not want to fight or cause trouble. We only want to learn and make peace." The leaders talked quietly among themselves. One of them said, "Humans are unknown to us. Their technology and power are unclear. This could be a threat." Suddenly, the room shook. Alarms blared loudly. The Empire was under attack. The humans and the leaders looked at each other in shock. Outside, unknown ships fired lasers and missiles. The Empire's leaders rushed out. The humans were left alone in the room, confused and scared. Maya looked at her team. "We have to find a way to help. This could be our chance to prove we are not enemies." The unexpected arrival had turned into something much bigger. The humans were caught between two great powers. What would happen next? The fate of many could change forever. The humans sat quietly in the cold, shining room. Outside, the huge spaceship moved slowly through space, heading toward the Empire's capital. The crew of the Aurora tried to understand what was happening. They had no idea what the Empire wanted from them. Captain Maya looked at her team. Their faces showed worry and fear. No one spoke. The silence was heavy. The door opened suddenly. A tall figure walked in. She was the Empire's leader, but not like the soldiers they had seen before. She wore smooth robes that shimmered in the light, and her eyes were sharp and wise. She looked directly at Maya. Humans, she said, her voice calm but strong. You entered our space without permission. This is a serious matter. You could have caused great damage. Why did you come here? Maya stood straight. She knew this was their chance to explain everything. We come from a far place. Our mission was peaceful. We wanted to explore, learn, and maybe find friends. Our ship had trouble, and we crashed. Here. We mean no harm. The leader looked at her carefully as if trying to read her thoughts. Your words are simple, but how can we be sure you speak the truth? Your technology is advanced, but your actions are reckless. Tom, the engineer, spoke up. We had no choice, our engines failed. We tried to warn you, but we could not. We did not want to fight. The leader nodded slowly. Your situation is difficult, but the Empire has strict laws. No one may enter without permission. This is for our safety. Maya felt a tightness in her chest. She wanted to say more, but she saw the leader was not ready to listen. Suddenly, the ship shook again. Alarms began to sound throughout the halls. The humans looked around, startled. Outside, the glowing windows showed bright flashes of light. Other ships were moving fast, firing beams of energy. The Empire was under attack. The leader's calm face changed for a moment. She signaled to her guards. This is not the time for talks. We must protect the capital. The humans were taken with the leader to a control room filled with screens and holograms. The Empire's commanders gathered around, watching the battle unfold in space. Maya watched the screens, seeing strange ships unlike any they had seen before. These ships moved quickly and seemed very dangerous. The Empire's fleet fought back, but the enemy was strong. One of the commanders turned to Maya. Your presence here is strange, humans. Perhaps your knowledge could help us. Do you have ideas to stop this attack? Maya thought quickly. We have technology that may help. Our ships use different energy sources. Maybe we can help improve your defenses. The leader looked at her again, considering the offer. Very well. If you help us defend the Empire, we will reconsider your fate. The humans were given permission to work with the Empire's engineers. Tom and his team went to the ship's systems, studying the weapons and shields. The humans and the Empire's crew worked side by side, learning from each other. Trust was slow to grow, but it started to form in small ways. A shared problem, a solution found together. Meanwhile, Maya tried to understand the enemy. Who were these attackers? Why did they come now? She found strange data on the screens, signals and patterns that hinted at a bigger plan. One night, as the humans rested, Maya stood alone near a window, staring at the stars. She thought about Earth, about her family, and the dangers they faced here. This was not just a crash anymore. It was the beginning of something much greater. Suddenly, a message came through. The enemy was preparing for a bigger strike, targeting the Empire's main defenses. The humans and the Empire had little time to prepare. The next day, the humans gathered with the Empire's leaders. The room was tense with fear and hope. Maya spoke clearly. We need to work together. Your Empire is strong, but this enemy uses tactics we have never seen. We must combine our skills and our courage to survive. The leader nodded slowly. Humans, you may not be our allies yet, but now we must fight side by side. The future of the Empire, and perhaps the galaxy, depends on it. Outside, the Great War was coming closer. The humans and the Empire's soldiers prepared to face a danger that would test them all. What would happen next? Could two very different peoples stand together against a threat bigger than either of them? The story was only beginning, and the universe was watching. The stars outside the great windows seemed calm, but inside the Empire's command ship, tension was thick. The humans had been working with the Empire's engineers for days now. They studied the enemy's tactics, trying to find a way to protect the Empire. Captain Maya felt the weight of every moment. She knew the coming battle would change everything. Suddenly, the alarm sounded again. Bright red lights flashed. The enemy fleet was moving closer, faster than anyone expected. The great ships of the Empire prepared to meet the threat, but the humans noticed something strange. The enemy was not just attacking with power, they were using careful, clever moves. It was as if they knew the Empire's every step before it happened. Maya gathered her team. This is not a simple attack. The enemy has a plan. We need to understand it before it's too late. Tom nodded. I found unusual patterns in their signals. They are communicating in ways we don't recognize, but it's different from normal battle codes. It feels like a trap. The humans and the Empire's commanders worked together to decode the messages. Hours passed as they pieced together the strange signals. Slowly, a dark truth appeared. The enemy wanted more than just to fight. They wanted to control the Empire's most powerful weapon, a device that could change the course of the entire galaxy. The Empire's leaders were shocked. If they take that weapon, nothing will stop them, one whispered. Maya stood firm. We have to stop them, but it will take more than just weapons. We need to be smarter. We need to outthink them. A plan began to form. The humans suggested using their own unique technology, devices that could block the enemy's signals and confuse their ships. It was risky, but it might work. The Empire's leaders agreed to try. Maya's team worked through the night setting up the devices. Everyone was tired, but no one gave up. The fate of millions depended on their success. As the sun rose on the strange planet below, the enemy fleet arrived. Bright beams of light crossed the blackness of space. The battle was about to begin. The humans watched closely as the devices activated. Slowly, the enemy ships started to lose their careful coordination. Confused, they made mistakes. The Empire's fleet took advantage, moving quickly and striking hard. But the battle was not over. Suddenly, a shadow moved behind the enemy lines, a secret force the humans had not seen before. This new threat was fast and silent. It moved toward the Empire's weapon. Maya felt a chill. They're coming for the weapon. We have to stop them. The Empire's soldiers rushed to defend the device. The humans joined them, using their special skills to block the enemy. It was a tense fight, but no one raised a hand to harm. Instead, the humans used clever tricks and quick thinking. They set traps that slowed the attackers, used light to blind them, and created illusions that made them lose their way. Slowly, the secret force was pushed back. The weapon was safe, but barely. Everyone was exhausted, but they had won an important victory. After the battle, the Empire's leader returned to the humans. Her face was serious, but softer than before. You have shown great courage and wisdom, she said. Perhaps there is hope for us to work together. Maya smiled slightly. We want to help. We want peace. But even as they spoke, new questions arose. Who was this enemy? Why had they attacked now? And what would happen if they returned stronger? The humans looked out at the stars, knowing their journey was far from over. The galaxy was full of mysteries and dangers, but also of friends waiting to be found. The battle had changed them all. The humans and the Empire were no longer strangers. They were allies, standing together against the unknown. And as the stars shone bright, the story moved forward, toward new adventures, new challenges, and a future that was still unwritten. The calm after the battle was uneasy. The humans and the Empire's people worked together to repair their ships and heal their wounds. But Captain Maya knew this quiet would not last. The enemy had only shown a glimpse of their power, and more challenges were coming. Maya stood on the observation deck watching the stars. The vast space seemed peaceful, but she felt the weight of what lay ahead. The galaxy was full of unknown dangers. If the humans and the Empire wanted to survive, they needed to understand each other better. Inside the command room, the Empire's leaders held a meeting. The humans were invited to join. The room was filled with voices speaking different languages, but all had the same worry. The enemy's attack was only the start of something bigger. One leader spoke with urgency. Our scouts have found unusual activity in a distant sector. It may be the enemy's base. Maya listened carefully. If we find their base, we can learn more about them. Maybe even stop the attacks before they begin. The Empire's leader nodded slowly. But the journey is long and dangerous. No ship has ever returned from that sector. The humans prepared for the mission. The Aurora was repaired and improved with the Empire's technology. The crew trained, alongside the Empire's soldiers, learning new skills and sharing their own. Maya felt hope growing. This mission was not just about survival. It was about trust. The humans and the Empire were beginning to see each other as partners, not strangers. The day came to leave. The fleet of ships moved together, heading toward the unknown sector. The stars outside seemed to watch silently as the ships disappeared into the darkness. During the long journey, the crew faced many challenges. The space was filled with strange energy fields that made navigation difficult. The ship's instruments sometimes stopped working, and mysterious signals appeared on the screens. One night, Maya sat with Tom in the ship's lounge. "This journey is harder than I thought," she said quietly. Tom smiled. "But we are not alone anymore. We have new friends, and together, we can face anything." Suddenly, the alarms rang. The ships were caught in a powerful energy storm. Bright lights flashed, and the crew struggled to keep control. The storm tossed the ships like leaves in the wind. Maya held the controls steady. "Stay calm. Focus on the instruments. We will get through this." After a tense battle with the storm, the fleet finally passed through. Everyone was tired but alive. The storm had tested their strength and their teamwork. As they reached the edge of the sector, the ships slowed down. Ahead, a dark planet loomed. It was covered with strange machines and towers that glowed softly in the darkness. The enemy's base. Maya felt a shiver. "This is it. We have to be careful." The Empire's leader spoke through the comm. "We will send scouts first. You and your team will follow closely. Remember, we want answers, not war." The scouts flew ahead, disappearing into the planet's shadow. Minutes passed like hours, then a message came through. "The base is larger than we thought. But there are signs of life. We must approach with caution." The humans and Empire's soldiers landed quietly near the base. The air was thick with tension. Every sound seemed louder, every shadow deeper. Maya led the way, her heart pounding. They moved slowly, watching and listening. The base was a maze of metal and light, filled with machines that hummed softly. Suddenly, they found something unexpected. Not enemies, but prisoners. Beings from different worlds, held captive and scared. One prisoner looked up and whispered, "Thank you for coming. We have been waiting for help." Maya felt a surge of hope. This mission was not just about fighting, it was about freeing those who could not fight for themselves. But the danger was not over. The base's alarm started to ring. The enemy had noticed the intrusion. The humans and the Empire's soldiers prepared to move quickly. They had to rescue the prisoners and get out before the enemy could close the gates. Maya looked at her team. "We are not just explorers anymore. We are protectors." The story was growing bigger and more important. The galaxy was no longer a place of fear and mystery. It was a place where courage and friendship could change everything. And as the ships prepared to leave the dark planet, the future stretched wide, full of hope and challenge. The rescued prisoners were weak, but full of hope. As the humans and Empire's soldiers led them back to the ships, the weight of their mission became clearer. This was no longer just about protecting one empire. It was about standing for freedom in the galaxy. Captain Maya felt a deep responsibility in her heart. The journey back to the capital was slow and careful. The enemy's base was powerful and the risk of being followed was high. The humans and Empire's crews worked together, watching the stars and scanning for any signs of danger. During the trip, Maya spoke with the prisoners. They told stories of captivity and loss, but also of courage and friendship across the stars. One prisoner, a gentle being from a distant world, said, "You have given us hope when we had none. We will stand with you." Maya smiled softly. "Together, we will make sure no one else loses hope." Back at the Empire's capital, the rescued were welcomed with relief and gratitude. The Empire's leader thanked Maya and the humans for their bravery. It was a moment of quiet pride, but also of understanding. The galaxy was bigger than any one world, and they were all connected. But the peace was fragile. New messages arrived, telling of more enemy ships gathering at the edges of known space. Their plans were larger and more complex than anyone had imagined. The Empire's leaders called for a great council, inviting humans and other allies to join. In the Grand Hall, voices rose with questions, ideas, and fears. Maya stood quietly, feeling the importance of their unity. "We cannot fight this enemy alone," she said, "but if we combine our strengths, our knowledge, our courage, and our hope, we can protect our homes." The council agreed to form a new alliance, one that crossed worlds and species. It was a bold step toward peace and strength. Meanwhile, the humans and Empire's engineers worked on new technology. They combined their skills to build ships faster and smarter. The Aurora was upgraded with new shields and engines, ready to face any challenge. One night, as the fleet trained under the stars, Maya thought about how far they had come. The humans had crashed into a great empire, but now they were part of something bigger, a hope for the galaxy. Suddenly, the comm system beeped. An urgent message arrived from a scout ship. "We have found a path through the enemy's lines, a secret route that could give us the advantage." Maya's heart quickened. This was the chance they had been waiting for. The fleet prepared for a daring mission. They would travel the hidden path, strike at the heart of the enemy, and end the threat once and for all. As the ships moved quietly through space, the crew felt a mix of fear and determination. The stars seemed to hold their breath, watching this moment unfold. Inside the command room, Maya gave her orders. "We move as one. Stay alert. We carry the hope of many worlds." The enemy would soon realize that the humans and the Empire were united. Their unexpected alliance was a force no one had seen coming, and as the fleet approached the secret route, the galaxy waited for the next chapter of this story, a story of courage, friendship, and the fight for a future where all could live in peace. The fleet moved silently through the dark corridor of space. This secret path was unlike any other, narrow, twisting, and hidden from the enemy's watchful eyes. Captain Maya watched the stars slip by, feeling the weight of what was to come. This was the moment to prove that unity could overcome fear. The crew was tense but focused. Every ship in the fleet carried more than weapons. They carried hope from many worlds. The humans and the Empire's soldiers worked side by side, their trust growing with every passing hour. Suddenly, the sensors picked up movement ahead. The secret path was not as empty as they had hoped. Ahead, strange ships appeared, silent and graceful, almost like shadows in space. They did not attack, but they did not move away. Maya ordered the fleet to slow. "We don't know if they are friend or foe," she said. A message came through, quiet and clear. It was from an unknown source, speaking in an ancient language. Tom worked quickly to translate. The message said, "You walk a dangerous road. Turn back or face the consequences." Maya replied firmly, "We seek peace and freedom. We will not turn back." The silent ships moved aside, revealing a hidden world, a planet surrounded by rings of glowing crystals. It was beautiful, but the sensors showed it was a fortress. The enemy's main base was here, hidden behind layers of defenses. The fleet prepared to enter the planet's orbit. The engineers worked to boost the ship's shields, knowing the battle ahead would test every skill they had learned. Inside the command room, Maya gathered her team. "This is the final challenge. We fight not just for ourselves, but for every life in the galaxy." The enemy's forces were waiting, but they were surprised to see the united fleet. The humans and the Empire's soldiers moved as one, their ships weaving through the defenses with careful precision. The battle was long, intense, but there was no anger, no harsh fighting. Instead, the crews used clever strategies, blocking enemy signals, confusing their sensors, and outmaneuvering their ships. Deep inside the fortress, Maya and a small team landed to disable the control systems. They moved quickly and quietly, using light and sound to distract the enemy forces. As they reached the heart of the base, Maya found a large device, the source of the enemy's power. She worked with the engineers to carefully shut it down, knowing any mistake could cause disaster. With a final click, the device powered down. The enemy's control over the fortress faded, and the defenses went silent. Back in space, the enemy ship slowed and began to retreat. The battle was won not through force but through courage, unity, and smart thinking. The fleet returned to the Empire's capital, where celebrations welcomed the heroes. The alliance between humans and the Empire was stronger than ever, and new friendships had been formed. Maya stood among the crowd, feeling a quiet pride. The galaxy was still full of mysteries, but now there was hope. A hope built on trust, respect, and the belief that together they could face any challenge. As the stars shone bright above, the story came to a close. For now, the humans and the Empire had changed each other forever, and their journey was just beginning.